Hi, I'm Alvin, and for today's video, I'm going to share to you some of the steps I did to make my last cinematic short film. If you haven't watched it yet, I will link it here somewhere. Similarly, you can use these steps to make your own short film, so let's get started. Tip number 1, find something that you are familiar with. What I mean by something that you are familiar with, it's like something that you are passionate about, or it's like something that you can explain to a friend confidently if he asks you about it. For example, from my last video, I'm using a gunpla. So a gunpla is a plastic model kit inspired from a Japanese anime series. And so I'm not going deep into it, but I used to build a lot of gunplas before, so I know how long will it take to build one, and so I'm familiar with it, and I thought it was a good idea to make a short film about it, and that's how I come up with the short film. Tip number 2 is to create a story around the subject that you have chosen. For example, from my last short film again, the story is that I ordered it online and then the package came and I was excited to get it and I want to build it and play with it, but unfortunately adulting gets in the way. Yeah, that's the conflict of the story, is that I need to balance adulting and playing. That's how I got also the title, that I tried to be a kid again. So step 3 is to add hooks to your story. So on my last video, I used the package as the first hook. When he's about to open the package, he realized he needs to do something else before he can open the package, leaving the audience curious about the contents of the package. Finally, when he came home, he opened the package and revealing the contents, and it was a toy, a gunpla, which he needs to build. And then before he starts building it, he sets an alarm. So that's another hook. And then he proceeds on building the toy and played with it, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off, and that's where we found out in a funny way that he needs to cook for dinner. I always try to find inspiration from other movies that I've already watched. For example, from this shot with the package, the font I used for the package is inspired from the Toy Story movie, where the kid's name was written underneath the shoes of the characters. I googled if there's something like compilation of every letters. Fortunately there is, and I tried to just mimic the handwritings. This next shot, or at least the sound effect, was inspired from a movie, Home Alone, where a guy is blurting gibberish words in a cartoony way. I thought it would be funny to recreate it. A lot of us is a solo filmmaker, so most of the time it's only static shots, but try to incorporate some movements in your shots. Probably do like 3 to 4 shots that is dynamic. Like the first scene, it's like the camera is rotating 180 degrees while zooming in. So I'm using a magic arm to attach the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 on the ceiling fan. For shot number 3, I tried to incorporate a dolly shot again, but this time there's no one gonna help me do the dolly shot, so I tried to find a solution for it. So I'm using a luggage and a Joby pod to hold the camera. A bungee cord wrapped around the table's leg, so once I go down the bed, I can pull it, and then this printer is like a guide to the luggage, so it won't go left or right, and that's how I got the shot. So for this shot, I use a skateboard and a magic arm to secure my camera on the skateboard, and then I try to pull the skateboard so it will move to the left before I enter the frame. It took a lot of trial to get the perfect shot because the skateboard doesn't stop at the right place where I wanted it to be. So for the last creative shot that I did is I'm using a plexiglass. It gives a unique perspective. The table is made out of glass, but in reality it's not. And that's it. That is the 5 tips that I can give you whenever you wanna shoot a short film. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you learned something, and I will see you again next time. Bye.